in the national semifinal, and it was oh so close. UCLA, their final competitor on the balance beam, Emma Malabuyo. Let's show it to you right here. So nerve-wracking seeing the competitors on the beam, but Emma cool as a cucumber. UCLA turns 3 straight 9-9s to finish off the beam rotation, and you could tell by her teammates, they got the sense that Emma had secured their bid to the final on Saturday, and indeed she did, turning in an unbelievable performance there on the balance beam. So the two to advance are UCLA and Utah. There it is. Last time the Bruins were in the final back in 2018. It's Missouri's first ever trip to the final. That's a great story in itself, but what a competition we had tonight. And very excited to welcome in Jordan Chiles, who is right down there in the mix in that hall. Jordan, we're casual fans, and we are glued to the set watching what you guys were able to pull off. Tell us what it was like down there on the mat.
There was so many emotions. I honestly have no words right now. As you can tell, I was crying. I might start crying again. I'm just beyond proud of this team. We knew it was just down to the last 10th, literally the last 10th, and we were going to continue to fight, and that's what we did.
When did you get the sense that you had pulled this off? Because we're looking at the scores, and it looked like LSU for a while, Utah. When did you know that, okay, we've secured the bid?
I knew once Shay got her 9-9 plus, I was like, okay, we got this in the bag, because typically when we start off with a very strong, 9-9 throughout the beam rotation, then it just goes up from there. And so after that, once Sienna did hers, I was like, oh, we have this in the bag, and I was just very proud. There were so many emotions. Again, it could have gone either way. It could have gone up or down, but we knew we just needed to fight.
Your whole college career at UCLA, you never made it to the final. Now here you are. What does it feel like?
It feels so amazing. I might cry again, but it's honestly, I believed in this team from the very beginning. There was so much pride, so much joy, so much fun in their atmosphere, and I knew this was our years. And, we get to go to Dayton. Oh, my gosh, I'm so excited.
I'm not going to ask you to compare things. You're an Olympic gold medalist. You won the gold in Paris last year with the U.S. team. Unbelievable moment there. Unbelievable moment again tonight. How do you get yourself together to get ready for Saturday?
I think just being able to look back at what we did today and see what we can fix. We're a team of millions of different, tints here, tints there, and just finding what we can change within ourselves. I mean, we did such a phenomenal job staying focused and staying in our Bruin bubble. So day 2 is definitely going to be fun for the Bruins, and I know when we have fun, we always show out. In the Bruin bubble with Jordan Chiles, and by the way, individual champion. Congratulations on the uneven bars. So really good night to be Jordan Chiles. Jordan, we appreciate the time. Best of luck moving forward this weekend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
David, what a great interview there. Several Olympians competing in this event. Top 2 teams from each semifinal would advance to the finals. Jordan Bowers led the way for Oklahoma, executing her front tumbling pass with ease. Tied for first on the floor in semifinal 1. And then later in the meet, Bowers with the Yurchenko 1.5. Oklahoma finishing in first in semifinal 1. Helen Hu on the beam for Missouri. One of the great stories this season. Hu, flawless execution of her flight series. Then, of course, the all-important dismount, and those feet are glued to the mat. Missouri a 1/10 of a point lead. Riley McCusker on bars for Florida's final routine. Trying to make up that 1/10 deficit. Sticks the landing, sort of. The hop might have been the difference.
She has been unbeatable on this event.
But the hop.
Oh.
But the hop.
And the hop was the difference. Missouri edges the Gators by 1/10 of a point. They're headed to the final for the first time in program history. And then the young lady David just spoke with, Jordan Chiles on bars, nailing the release move in the transition to the low bar. And then the double layout, dismount. Chiles, please. UCLA in first, heading to the final rotation, but again by only 1/10 of a point. Avery Neff on the bars for Utah. Sticking that coach's reaction was great, too. So Utah in first in semifinal 2. It's going to come down to UCLA and the reigning champions, LSU. Freshman Kaylin Chio on the vault, sticking her Yurchenko 1.5. So LSU up by less than 1/10 heading into the final routine when Emma Malabuyo sticks it and UCLA secures second place over LSU by 0.2 of a point. There will be no repeat champion. The Bayou Bengals sent packing. All right, so the individual event, national champions. David spoke with Jordan Chiles. She's the champ on uneven bars. Jordan Bowers, the all-around champion from Oklahoma. Caitlin Chio of LSU does it in the vault. Helen Hu on the balance beam, and then Brooklyn Moores on floor. Aly, a thrilling final rotation. Utah and UCLA edge out Michigan State and the 1 seed and defending national champion LSU. What's your headline from tonight?
I don't even know, to be honest. I just feel like such a big fan right now. The competition was exceptional. It came down to all those little details, the minor dip of a shoulder on beam, the slightest hop on the event. I'm just so impressed with these athletes, the way that they were able to handle the pressure. I think my headline would have to be Missouri and UCLA ending on beam. That beam must be good luck ending on that event, because both of those teams clinched making it into the finals.
Aly, LSU has got to be another headline here. The defending national champions, the 1 seed, they miss out. What happened?
It was a tough competition, and when I say it came down to those little details, I really mean it. It's so much easier said than done to think about sticking the events. We're seeing a lot of teams struggle a bit on vault, where they're trying too hard to stick the landing, and then they actually forget to execute the vault well enough in order to stick it, so they'll under-rotate it, get a big deduction. LSU still did well tonight, but unfortunately those little tenths just made the big difference, and a lot of those athletes, you know, their careers are ending, and so it's been such a pleasure for me to be able to cover them. And I know they're emotional because their gymnastics career is ending, but also because they didn't make the final.
Yeah, and there will be a new national champion. And you hit on Missouri a little bit here. Obviously, an incredible story. Aly, how do you put this opportunity into context for this team?
Well, Missouri has been saying all year long, we do not want to be called the underdogs. They say we're not the underdogs, we are undeniable, and they certainly are. I think a lot of people didn't expect them to make it into the top 4, and they did. And to do it on an event where you have to end on beam, and ending with Helen Hu, who's the national champion, she's exquisite on that event. I think that they're going to come into the national championship with so much confidence, and the experience of learning from this competition today. I really expect big things from them.
Yeah, maybe almost a little bit of a nothing to lose attitude here. Aly, I promise this stays between you and me. Who do you like to win it all on Saturday?
You know, I've learned that in sports, it's so hard to make predictions, especially in gymnastics, when the beam is 4 inches wide and literally anything can happen. I feel like I'll give you an answer right now. I might change it after I sleep on it, but I'm thinking it's hard to bet against Oklahoma. When they're on, they're on. But Utah, their final rotation on bars was very impressive. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma. Well, then UCLA, I don't know. I'm not sure. I need a minute to think about it. The meet just ended. That's how good the gymnastics is. They're amazing, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch.
I think maybe that speaks to just how competitive this event has been and how riveting it was to watch play out. 3-time Olympic gold medalist Aly Raisman, great insight. Enjoy the championship Saturday, 4 Eastern on ABC.